I think I want to start this video off by saying this is not the type of video that you're expecting it to be. The fact that I'm saying that hating men is such a cop-out isn't necessarily supposed to be some right-wing sided, men-loving, supporting, women-hating type of thing. No, but this is like a genuine critique on the whole idealization of hating men in the first place or making it a complete personality type. First off, I'm going to say, stop making it a personality type. That itself makes you pretty one-dimensional, but besides that, slightly insulting point aside, I think that it does absolutely nothing within dismantling the patriarchy. The idea of hating men generally is just wrong, or hating anybody generally is just wrong. Maybe because me being a black person, I can already understand the discrimination and the already negative outlook that society gives you. So then me being a man on top of that almost gets like, not that we're trying to have some sort of oppression Olympics or along the lines of that, but already having that bias against me has maybe given me a better perspective on being able to understand that hate overall is just not the way to fix things. Like, you can make it very simple by saying like, hey, we want society to be better. We want the patriarchy to not be the way it is as of right now because it is very, very shitty to women, but it is also in some ways very shitty to men that don't try to take advantage of the privileges that they have and instead try to actually strive for equity and equality. But the solution to our problems isn't just completely hating one side of it. You're not going to solve racism by eliminating a race. You're not going to solve how the patriarchy is by hating men completely. And although those issues aren't necessarily the same, there are a lot of parallels. Like, there is so much nuance in this situation to understand the complexity of the effects that like the patriarchy has overall, and it is an extremely tiring thing to do. But I feel like, one, the idea of just saying men are bad horribly simplifies the actual issues at hand, and two, is just wrong. And the reason I bring race into the discussion is because there is some intersectionality with these types of issues that a lot of people don't like to realize because it is just 10 times easier to push the narrative of having very simple concepts. Sure, it's simple to receive and to understand, but it is incorrect if it is simplified. It's almost like a paradox. Like, the way that I could probably describe it is if the more you, let's take fucking math, for example, right? And this is not comparing people to math, but I just want to use this as an example, maybe for understanding or to help simplify it so it's maybe more understandable or digestible. But it's like a paradox where the more you hate math, the more you suck at math, right? And if you want to get better at math, hating it or continuing to shit on it is not going to make you better at math. So the idealized way of like generalizing a certain sex isn't really gonna help solve the issue. When does hate ever breed to loving? Let's take it to a self perspective, for example. If you don't like the way your body looks and you decide to change it, right? Hating yourself isn't really gonna shake off all the insecurities that you might have, but giving your body love and working on it in a loving way is definitely gonna have some improvements that are going to factor in now and probably factor in for the rest of your life. I've lost a significant amount of weight off of hating myself, and I gained it all back really quickly. That's more of a personal thing. If I had learned to maybe love myself a little bit more and treat my body the way that it deserved to be treated, this might have actually lasted a lot longer than I initially intended. Now, back to the main matter at hand. It's a tough thing to say, and by society's standards or how the online world perceives things usually, it might seem cancelable, or people are probably going to nitpick some of the things that I say and maybe take one line that I said out of context out of the entire however minute long video this might be. But as simple as it is, the idea of hating someone's guts and expecting them to somehow change their attitude is not the way that we fix this patriarchy. Hating on each other isn't necessarily the way to change anything. And obviously, I want to say, in a world where everything is fantastic, showing love is going to automatically 180 people's opinions to the way that you want. Unfortunately, that's not the way it is. But I know for sure, I don't know the right answer, but I definitely know the wrong answers. And the way that we're navigating this whole, I guess, gender wars is extremely wrong and incorrect and not progressive or helping fix the issue at all. But maybe the first steps are to encourage people to not be sexist, to strive for equality as much as we can, and hopefully that can help bring people out of those mindsets a little bit more. Obviously, way easier said than done. And maybe change the idea of feminization or how the patriarchy navigates, because right now it is simplified to just hating men. And sure, there are a lot of terrible men out there. There are a lot of terrible people out there, hands down. But the story or the narrative has been navigated specifically towards hating all men and demonizing them in a way that only few should be demonized in the first place. And as much as I like to say it's not easy, but it is simple, this is not something that is easy or simple at all. There are a lot of complexities to it that most people are probably not interested in listening, learning, or trying to figure out for themselves, because I'm going to be real, it is way easier to just be a dickhead at this point. But if we actually want to strive for genuine change when it comes to this sort of thing, you need to put in the work, and people need to start understanding each other more and have way more patience with each other, which is an incredibly large ask. And the only reason I can recognize this is because of the intersectionalities of being Black in North America. People that are people of color might have a better understanding of this in the first place. And I'm not saying that, white people don't, but I'm just saying because of the lived experience, it may be easier to interpret what I'm saying and understand what I'm saying, as opposed to people that don't have those experiences at all. My initial thoughts would probably be just to educate oneself to the best of your ability, because if you actually learn and understand perspectives that aren't necessarily aligned with yours, or at least perspectives that aren't lived through your eyes. For example, I will never understand what it is like to be an Asian woman as a Black man. If I start understanding different perspectives, that leaves room for love to grow, for genuine understanding, and maybe for less shitty opinionated views on women or on other people of color that I might not understand their perspectives. But we also don't know everything. That's why it's important to also have communities filled with people that aren't just an echo chamber or the exact same type of person. Have variety there. And this isn't supposed to be some sort of push for have a token insert type of person, but maybe try and actually establish connections with people outside of your commonality or circles overall. Doing that can help bring a perspective that you don't realize that you had, or bring out biases that you didn't realize that you had previously. And maybe with some patience and understanding, we'll be in a less shitty situation. That's just some quick thoughts of mine. Leave.